Hello everyone, I'm Brazen Eagle, and thank you for joining me here. So, a little less than a year ago, we heard about the story, the tragedy of Mollie Tibbetts and how she was murdered by an illegal alien. Now, I bring this article up today because a few days ago, from May 31st, her blood was confirmed found in the vehicle of her murderer, Christian Bahena Rivera. Court documents, blood found in suspect's trunk belonged to Mollie Tibbetts. From Montezuma, Iowa. Court documents released Friday morning show officers found traces of blood in the trunk of a vehicle used by Christian Bahena Rivera, the suspect, basically now known murderer of Mollie Tibbetts. DNA analysis confirms the blood was that of Tibbetts, according to court documents. On August 20th, 2018, officers obtained valid consent to search a black Chevrolet Malibu, which was a vehicle that was used by the Rivera. The vehicle fit the description of a vehicle observed in a surveillance video that also showed a jogger believed to be Mollie Tibbetts on her run. When the vehicle was searched, blood was located in the trunk of the vehicle. DNA analysis confirmed that the blood was that of Mollie Tibbetts. The DCI lab performed DNA analysis on suspected blood found in the trunk of the defendant's vehicle, the Chevy Malibu. This is the same vehicle the defendant consented to allowing law enforcement to search while he was at Yarrabee Farms when he first encountered law enforcement. The results of the analysis confirmed the presence of blood in the trunk of the defendant's vehicle, and DNA developed from that blood was matched to the known DNA of Mollie Tibbetts. Rivera was interviewed off and on for several hours. The interview process began at approximately 5:05 p.m. on August 20th, 2018, and concluded at 4:15 a.m. on August 21st, according to court documents. It also shows during the interview with law enforcement, Rivera offered information on the location of Tibbetts' body before and after he was read his Miranda rights. Officers made it clear to the defendant that he was not in custody and that he was free to leave at any time. It was made clear to the defendant that the door to the interview room was unlocked. He was told what door led to the street, that he had ready access to the outside of the sheriff's office if he wished, and was told that at any moment he wished he could get up and that he was free to go. According to the court documents, Rivera read his Miranda rights in Spanish. Miranda rights were read to the defendant at approximately 11:30 p.m. by Officer Romero. The rights were read in Spanish. Just prior to the Miranda warning being read, federal agent Mike officials spoke to the defendant on the phone, asking him questions concerning his immigration status. During the interview, it was determined that the defendant was suspected of being in the United States illegally, and a detainer was placed on him. At this time, the defendant was not free to leave, so his Miranda rights were read to him in Spanish. Subsequently, the defendant waived his Miranda rights and agreed to continue speaking with the officers, and led, basically, the officers to her body. During the interview, both before and after Miranda warnings were read, the defendant made several admissions concerning his involvement in the disappearance and death of Mollie Tibbetts. Following the interview, the defendant led law enforcement to the location of her body, and has been held in Poweshiek County Jail since his arrest. Scheduled to go on trial September 3rd in Woodbury County after a judge agreed to move the trial due to pre-trial publicity. And that's basically everything from this article. Now, before we move on, I have another article from March detailing more specific information about this case and, of course, a little bit more info. So, of course, this is from Breitbart. And like I said, this is from March. Illegal alien accused of murdering Mollie Tibbetts granted $3.2 thousand in taxpayer money for expert witness. So basically, the crux of it is, he got $3,200 for killing this girl to help him defend himself. So in August 2018, Christian Bahena Rivera, an illegal alien from Mexico, was charged with Tibbetts' murder after police said he admitted to confronting and chasing down the young woman. Tibbetts' body was found in a cornfield in Poweshiek County after a statewide search for her. The illegal alien lived in a region of Iowa that was surrounded by sanctuary cities, as Breitbart News noted, and worked on a dairy farm using a stolen ID and social security card after allegedly crossing the U.S.-Mexico border as a child. He was 17 at the time. Bahena Rivera has been granted $3,200 in state taxpayer money by the 8th Judicial District, Judge Yoel Yates, this week. That will pay for an expert witness to help the illegal alien fight the murder charge, according to the Gazette. The illegal alien, Yates said in his decision, qualifies for taxpayer-funded stipends to fight the murder charge, the Gazette reported, and the accused killer's defense team is expected to ask for more taxpayer money before the trial. Lawyers for Christian Bahenio Rivera, 24, who is charged with first-degree murder, said the stipend was needed to hire a forensic expert with criminal case consultants in Buffalo, New York. Why from New York? The expert can provide insight on interrogation techniques and analytical investigative methods given the length, context, language barriers, and other factors involved in the police interrogation of Rivera, said his lawyer. Even though, from the article I just showed you, which is at the end of May, her DNA was found in his car. Or I guess Malibu. The stipend is required for the expert to begin looking into these issues, but does not cover the cost of testimony at trial or travel expenses. Press in Motion said. The defense will make separate requests for those funds if necessary. 8th Judge District Judge Joel Yates approved the stipend Tuesday, saying a financial affidavit filed with the court shows Rivera is indignant and qualifies for public funds, which will be paid by the state, by Iowa taxpayers. If additional funds are needed, the defense will have to obtain court approval, he added. Wow. This is the latest request by Bahenio Rivera's defense team for public funds and accommodations for the illegal alien in the murder trial. Well, he should get none. This month, Bahenio Rivera asked that his murder confession be thrown out as evidence, claiming he was not read his Miranda rights by police at the time, which I already just told you makes this a complete lie. In its farthest-reaching request, the illegal aliens defense team said the jury's selection pool should be moved out of Poweshiek County, where the alleged murder occurred, because the area is home to too many white Americans, Breitbart News reported. Instead, Bahenio Rivera wants the jury selection moved to a neighboring county with more Hispanic Americans, probably in a sanctuary city region, claiming that a majority white county is unfair. Before the jury selection request, the illegal aliens attorney said Bahenio Rivera had a constitutional right to receive $5,000 in state taxpayer money to hire an independent investigative team to fight the murder charge. According to prosecutors, Bahenio Rivera was the last known person who saw Tibbetts jogging on the evening of July 18, 2018 in Brooklyn, Iowa. Security camera footage reveals that is the night Tibbetts went missing. The illegal alien told police that Tibbetts was jogging when he saw her, according to prosecutors. That is when he said he approached Tibbetts and started talking to her. After Tibbetts told Bahenio Rivera that she would call the police if he did not stop following her, the illegal alien allegedly chased her down and says he blacked out after this. Police believe Bahenio Rivera stabbed Tibbetts to death. Well, that would explain the sharp attack wounds on her body, then drove to a cornfield where prosecutors say Bahenio Rivera placed corn stalks over her to hide the body. The illegal alien has been held, of course, on a $5 million bond, and the murder trial is set for September. Wow. But first things first. First of all, this illegal alien should not be receiving any sort of taxpayer funding. You commit a crime and you can't pay for it? Well, sorry. You should have thought about that before. He does not deserve any money from the state taxpayer, nor can his attorney claim that he has a constitutional right to taxpayer money. He's not a citizen, therefore the Constitution shouldn't exactly apply to him. I mean, the Constitution is there for, the citizens, not for an illegal alien. He does not have a right or protections from the Constitution. Why are we funding this human waste in a court? If anything, we need to make an example out of this illegal alien. Secondly, this illegal alien, of course, lived in a region in Iowa that was surrounded by sanctuary cities. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. And all the way up in the Midwest, we have sanctuary cities that protect murderers, killers, illegal people. That makes no sense. These cities in America literally protect people that are criminals and choose to support people that kill us. He had a stolen ID and a Social Security card after he illegally crossed the U.S.-Mexican border as a child. Now, you can go to the Wikipedia page over here, which everything is linked in the description below. But if you read this page, you'll find out that this illegal alien, Christian Bahenio Rivera, was 17 at the time when he crossed the border. And that he is a deferred action for childhood arrival, or commonly known as he is a DACA kid. This is one of the people that supports DACA, that is DACA. He is DACA. And these people who came here already and are killing basically us. And third of all, according to prosecutors, the illegal alien chased Mollie after she said she would call the cops. And supposedly, he blacked out. That's a total lie. An absolute lie. He wanted to rape her. My next article confirms this. Mollie Tibbetts accused murder from June 1st, 2019, reportedly targeted her because he thought she was hot. Christian Behenio Rivera, 24, who was charged for the murder of University of Iowa rising sophomore Mollie Tibbetts, told authorities he spotted the 20-year-old during her routine jog and decided to snatch her because she was hot, according to court documents obtained exclusively by RadarOnline.com. The most recent filing contains new revelations in the case that riveted the nation, including the potential motive behind the heinous crime. After initially denying he had seen Tibbetts, the defendant, Behenio Rivera, then admits he saw her running at the point last seen, that he turned around to see her again and thought she was hot, the court documents reveal. The defendant identifies himself as being present at the point last seen and indicates he was attracted to Tibbetts. As Radar readers know, Tibbetts' disappearance prompted international attention after authorities from both the federal and state level searched for the missing local who vanished while out for a jog in her secluded hometown of Brooklyn, Iowa in July. And authorities discovered her remains on August 21st, 2018, after Rivera led them to the cornfield where he stated he dumped her. Radar previously reported that Rivera supposedly terrorized other women in the secluded town of Brooklyn, Iowa, before allegedly kidnapping and murdering Tibbetts. He followed my girlfriend twice in the exact black Malibu, Justin, a neighbor revealed to Radar. I remember her calling me when she noticed how slow he was driving by in circles, turning around the block to keep up with her several times on her walk home. What's more, the new filing reveals Rivera allegedly swindled taxpayers for $8,000 for an interpreter, but court documents indicate not only can he speak English, but also mingles with other jailbirds. Jail staff have reported that the defendant communicates effectively in both English and Spanish, the explosive documents reveal. When having conversations with the defendant in English, he appears to clearly understand the conversation and is able to appropriately participate and communicate with jail staff who do not speak Spanish. Rivera is being held at the Poweshiek County Jail in lieu of $5 million cash bond. His next court date is June 20th, and the trial is set to begin on September 3rd. Basically, he found her attractive and literally decided to take her. However, he ended up murdering her because he could not perform any sort of sexual function. This article also stated that he is at least bilingual. This illegal alien, also knows, of course, both English and Spanish. Now, whether he can write it is one thing, but he can clearly understand it orally. Several of the jail staff noted that he is fluent, of course, in both languages, and if he appears he does not understand what people are saying, he is pretending. This is very much a true con man, this Christian Behenio Rivera. So now, it would be one thing if this was the entire story, but it's not. This illegal alien worked for a family of a prominent state Republican leader and farmer. He lived at, well, I'm just going to read this article for you, from August 21st, 2018, Montezuma, same place, Iowa. So, from that day, 9/15, the immigrant from Mexico charged in the kidnapping and murder of an Iowa college student worked at a dairy farm owned by the family of a prominent state Republican leader. Yarrabee Farms said in a statement that Christian Behenio Rivera had worked at its farms for the last 4 years and was an employee in good standing. The company said it was shocked to hear that Rivera had been charged in the death of 20-year-old Mollie Tibbetts. Spokesman Dane Lang said Tuesday night that Yarrabee Farms is a small family farm owned by him and his father Craig Lang, who has long been a prominent Iowa farmer and political figure. He previously served as president of the Iowa Farm Bureau and president of the Iowa Board of Regents, which governs the state public universities. In June, he lost a close GOP primary in the race for state agricultural secretary. And Rivera was, of course, charged Tuesday with first-degree murder in Tibbetts' death. Rivera, Christian Behenio Rivera, lived as part of his employment at the Yarrabee farms in which he worked under Craig Lang. This is the exact type of Republicans that love illegal immigrants. Businesses can pay illegal aliens less than American citizens who would have worked there and make more money for the business. You pay them under the table. Makes sense. These Republicans chose, though, to be anti-American and have caused, or at least helped have caused, the death of a fellow Iowan. But at the end of the day, all they care about is money. But that's not all. I said that earlier, but it's still not all. Now, Mollie Tibbetts, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to slam her or anything, I don't want to slam the dead, but her and her family are anti-American. Just look them up on Wikipedia. They really don't care for America. Now, like I said, I don't want to slam her, but we're learning from history here, and this is her own Twitter page. Yeah, you read that right there. Mollie Tibbetts, this is her official Twitter before she passed away. From December 12th, 2017, I hate white people. This is literally her own tweet in her response to a poll that was on Twitter. Now, I have, of course, here, from accredited times, she loved abortions, Planned Parenthood. She also loved the media. She loved feminism. She loved San Francisco. She hated guns. She hated white people. She hated President Trump. She supported and loved Bernie Sanders, and she supported open borders. Now, like I said, I don't really want to say too many, bad things about the dead. I really don't. But we have to take this as an opportunity to learn from history. If we don't learn from history, by God, either us or someone else is going to repeat it. She wanted open borders, which is basically what we have now. Just that if you get caught, you get deported, and you can come back whenever you feel like, basically. Because of almost open completely borders, though, an illegal alien entered the country, followed her in his vehicle, and subsequently killed her, murdered her. Well, he wanted to rape her, but ended up killing her. Her beliefs got her killed. Well, also her family's beliefs. And this is why this story needs to be repeated. You cannot have peace with open borders with people that want to kill you and take your stuff. Had her family and the Yarrabee Farms business do the right thing by not hiring illegal aliens, she would most likely, be alive today. But unfortunately, much like many other young people, especially young women, Mollie Tibbetts was just another female that drank the university social justice warrior Kool-Aid that destroys civilizations. If you don't know, she was a student at University of Iowa. And this is exactly why we need some sort of type of patriarchy. We really don't have a patriarchy anymore. People like her, they want open borders, which ends up hurting and murdering our own people. Women should have never been given the right to vote. They vote for open borders. And they will continue to vote for open borders, and the cultural death amongst, economic death, social death, and mental and religious type of deaths of America. If we had a patriarchy that supported both men and women, that balanced rights with responsibilities, which includes voting, and protected the people from foreign invaders, this would have never happened. Now, I'm not saying some immigrants are, all immigrants are bad. I'm not saying that. But, in this case, illegal immigration has got to go. This would have never happened if we closed down the border or at least stopped illegal immigration. Or at the very least, if anything else, we should have at least seek equal justice for the crime committed against Mollie, America, and the future victims that will be around because of the unwillingness to stop illegal immigration. It hurts everyone, whether you like it or not. It can affect you. But with that in mind, I'm Brazen Eagle. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.